anything about music, but I could see in that girl's eyes he was a taste of forbidden fruit. She could have eaten him alive. He was my destiny.
All right, ladies and gents, we back again. F.C.F. Firecrotch Fridays movie. That's always a tongue twister, isn't it? Firecrotch Friday movie reviews with a ginger.
Now say it faster.
Firecrotch Fridays movie reviews with a ginger.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So today is a fun one. The new Elvis movie. So spoilers, guys. If you have not seen it, press pause, go see it, come back, and tell us what you thought.
I loved it.
Okay, so this is where you're gonna get mad at me.
Frankie, I swear to God, don't listen. Okay, fine.
So I thought I was gonna be the only person though. I don't understand what happened when I was in the theater because there's only about 10 people in it, right? Which is strange because I've been watching Top Gun. I've seen it 7 times now.
Well, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
What was the demographic when you were in there?
Older for sure. Older. There was only about 4 or 5 young people, and the other 5 or 6 people were old as shit.
Okay.
Which I understood because that was their person, right? I get it. But what tripped me out is about halfway through the movie, like 4 people left. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you leaving? This movie's great.
Okay.
The movie's awesome. The reason I say about the movie that had me messed up was when I left Top Gun, I knew immediately that I was in love with that movie. I wanted to see it again. I was happy, sad, crying, emotional. Loved it to death. Was at the edge of my seat, sweating like, oh, fuck. That was that movie, right? But this one had me laughing, dancing in my chair, singing along.
Yeah.
Like, loved it. And then at the end of it, I left feeling some type of way because it's real, right? It's based on someone that's real,
right?
Who you gave a shit about, and I honestly, I didn't know everything about. I knew a lot because it was my mom's favorite person.
Right.
But I didn't know everything. So to know the last part, that he was trapped, almost like in prison, that last part of the movie had me feeling some type of way where I felt like I didn't like the movie. It's not that I didn't like the movie when I left. I had to really get in myself and be like, oh shit, I'm in my head.
Right.
Because I didn't like that he was stuck there.
So you almost thought like, you're like, I don't like this because this movie, in your head, it was almost like a movie, so it's fictional.
Yeah.
But that actually happened. So like,
correct.
They
and
had to put that
I understood where there was a lot of things that weren't as true, right? Like he didn't find him on a fair, like in the fair. I understand that. I know that
the director's obviously going to take creative liberties,
right,
to make it a little bit more fun and
like the Kennedy shooting didn't happen while he was on stage or at the rehearsal. I get that stuff.
Right.
So before you guys come in the comments and try to get crazy, but for the most part, it was a true story.
Yeah, and a lot of the aspects, like you know, saying that him being trapped made you feel some type of, that was true.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That was real.
I had no idea that Elvis was not an international superstar. I know that people knew him internationally, but I did not know that he didn't travel to Germany and Japan, all these places, and play. He was offered to. They wanted to pay him buku money to do it,
and he never did.
And I didn't know that. I just assumed he did. I was like, how could you be that big and not do that?
Yeah.
So to be as big as you were around the world, and you only were ever in the U.S., the only time you ever left the state was when you left to the military.
Yeah. Or, I mean, well, I was going to say Hawaii, but I mean, that's still United States.
Yeah.
But he was in Hawaii for a long time. So this is off topic, but that's kind of the theme of this podcast is us not even hardly talking about the movie. I was in Hawaii with my family, and we were at some like hotel where Elvis used to like hang out and play. So they had like all these memorials, all these pictures, and it was super rad. And they ended up having like an Elvis show in town where you can go see like an Elvis impersonator do his thing with the lip and whatever not. But we went and saw it with my grandpa, and like our whole family went. And then out of nowhere they had a Michael Jackson dude come out, and I was just like, whoa, I was freaking out. I was like a little nervous because I was a kid at the time, but I was like, you know, it was rad.
Sensory overload.
And that was like my introduction to Elvis, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, and I would say I'm like an older soul. I don't really listen to like whatever the music is now.
Same.
Yeah. But
I am old soul. You see the crack?
I love Elvis. I love Johnny Cash. I love Michael Jackson. Like, I love those older people.
Yeah.
So I was excited about this, but I thought it was really cleverly marketed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they obviously had a really young, handsome dude playing Elvis, which is perfect because Elvis was, at the time, he was like the first, like, heartthrob.
100%.
Yeah.
But he was also the first person to break out of the shell and bring almost like a gospel feel mixed with his country. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a different spin on music, right? Because that was one of the things. They're like, who's going to play this guy? They're like, you know, you can't mix because back then segregation was a thing.
Right.
Right? And they're like, no, he's white. You're like, the guys were like, he's white. I see money. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they're like, we love it, but they're not going to let this kind of person on there.
Yeah.
Right? So that was cool. But the actor, was it Arthur?
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler.
Amazing.
He's from Anaheim. He was born in Anaheim.
Yeah, local dude.
Yeah, local OC. Right on. Gang, gang.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
But yeah, he was amazing. Like, I thought.
Have you heard him talk?
So, before or after the movie? Like, before or after shooting?
But he sounds like that, though.
After, yeah. Before, no. Before, like, making the movie, he has just a normal, like, almost me kind of voice. But after, and this, people think he's doing this, like, you know, to try and be Elvis. But I think if you submerge yourself in a role for years,
over 2 years,
you're gonna take on aspects of that person, and like
100%.
he even said, it becomes a fiber of your being. Look at Heath Ledger playing like the Joker. You know, I mean, some people think that role killed him because of just how immersed in the role he got, and I think Austin Butler did the same thing. Yeah. But like
he spent time with Miss Presley,
Priscilla, like the whole family, and
the at Graceland. I mean, he was really, really submerged. He got to play Elvis's guitar,
which he got to keep Elvis's guitar that he played in the '68 comeback special.
Did he really? He got to keep that?
It is now his. That guitar is probably worth well over $1 million. Has to be.
Bro.
Yeah, but I thought it was really, like, obviously older people, like you said, the theater was filled with more older people, but when I went and saw it, there was younger kids in there, and I think that's just how it was marketed. They used a lot of hip-hop, they used, like, Doja Cat.
Bro, did you hear Eminem's remix on that? Oh my God, I'm going to insert it in the intro here. Bruh.
It was good.
It's so dope because he's like, people compare me to Elvis because he's somebody who's white who took black culture music, or they say I don't even know the word they use, appropriate or whatever the fuck.
Appropriation.
Whatever. Yeah, so whatever fancy word y'all use.
Fancy word.
To steal shit, but that's not it. They love that genre of music.
Yeah.
And they are applying it to how they use it because that's who they are, right? He grew up in that culture, so he's using that culture.
And it's
fair game.
What he knew.
Yeah, it's all you know, right? Like, it is what it is. Like, my best friend Cameron, growing up, who's 6'5", you know, is red hair like you, whiter than you, ginger as ginger could be.
I don't know if you can be whiter than me.
It's pretty amazing.
I'm wearing a polo shirt, and I'm about to work out.
Yeah.
That's pretty white.
So, but this dude, on his back, in Old English, has a tattoo that says Oso Polar, which is polar bear, right? But it's in Spanish. Because he grew up with all of us who are all Mexican, so he thinks he's Mexican. Yeah. He looks white, but he grew up with our culture. So he eats Mexican food, spicy stuff. He fucking rides his Harley. Like, I mean, the dude's, you know, a white beaner. Yeah. He's a pinto bean. So it's fucking hilarious, right? Like, it's awesome, right? Because he grew up in that culture. Yeah. Right? So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't find anything wrong with that at all. So it's just whatever. People always trying to bring racism into shit, which shouldn't be at all. It's just you, me, and we're people and fucking love it.
Yeah.
But that movie, I did enjoy it. I just, again, the feeling, the trap thing is what kind of fucked with me.
I think it did. Well, it started with, it was very dizzy, the opening of it. Like, it was kind of all over the place. And that's, I mean, Baz Luhrmann, he's the director. He does that in, like, a lot of movies. Like, he has a very...
Did you find it hard to follow? I didn't find it hard to follow, not even a little bit. It made so much sense to me. I didn't lose anything.
I understood it. I think they did a pretty good job of letting you know when they were changing. Obviously, they said, like, from, you know, whatever, it's 1962, now it's 1968. They told you that.
Yeah.
Like, so if you didn't follow it, that's your fucking problem. That's on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they did a good job. Yeah. Yeah. And I think what I really love that they did, they almost made it very theatery, like theatrical. You know what I mean? Like when not only when he was on stage, but even throughout it, it felt like you were in a live theater, which was almost like a kind of a testament to Elvis because of just how theatrical he was in his performance.
Yeah.
And I love that. And that's Baz Luhrmann as a director generally does that, like in like The Greatest Showman or his other movies. But
I would love to see him do a remake of a Michael Jackson documentary.
I was just
that
gonna
would
say,
be amazing because the angles he shoots at, how he does it, and how he made it so new. Everything on Michael's been so old and outdated. I would love to see something fresh, new to give the kids an understanding of
just how significant Michael Jackson was,
and what kind of icon he was. Not to take away, guy, we all know Elvis is too, but Elvis was pre-me, right? The 50s.
But I'm with you. The first thought in my head when I left that theater was, I pray that they make a movie about Michael Jackson the way they have about Johnny Cash, Ray Charles.
Yeah, but I would love it to be by that guy, the guy who just did Elvis. Baz, if you get this, or somebody forward it to him. I mean, I'm a fucking peon in this world, and I know nobody's gonna know me. But if this gets to you somehow, I'm gonna tag you in it. So hopefully you see it.
Yeah.
But you make that Michael, bruh.
Yeah.
I'll be a security, an extra, whatever you need. I got you.
Frankie is Michael Jackson.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I thought the movie was great, but I loved how it made me feel because I think it did an excellent job of like, obviously I'm young. Elvis died way before I born, probably before you were born.
Yeah, he was in 77.
77 he died. So I obviously never really got to see just how significant he was. I know my grandparents saw him live in concert, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But it made me understand, like watching Austin Butler perform as Elvis, it made me understand what people were thinking when they first saw Elvis.
And they did a great job explaining that stuff. Like,
right.
You saw how vanilla, the other guy, and welcome to the barn and the rodeo.
Right. Hank
show.
Snow, who is actually, I do love Hank Snow. I actually knew his music before they did this.
Yeah, see,
But
that's not me. I'm definitely, very different. I love country music, but that's a little bit too country for me.
Yeah.
But
the
I'm
more
watching
twang, the better.
No wonder these motherfuckers are bored. But that's all they knew, so they enjoyed it. Then he came out, and these girls' panties were falling off. And by the way, I thought it was a T-shirt. When he's like, "Are them girls bitches?" or whatever he said, and he's like, "I believe they are." I was just like, "What?" Like,
what the hell is that? Did you kill a cheetah?
What? No, these are her underwear. She gave them to me.
Oh, no!
like they were like bigger than period panties. They were huge. In today's world, if a girl threw something, it'd be about this big and a line.
Yeah. Listen, but that was like everyone, like every guy at the end was like, "Wow."
Yeah. No, 100%.
But
no, I got that part.
I think, like I said, it did an excellent job of making me understand just how Elvis made everyone in that time feel.
But
because there is nobody like that now.
It made me feel so irritated that he died, and so angry with this person who was stealing from him.
Manager killed him.
I left angry and upset.
I did
so
too.
It made me feel some type of way. So instead of me not liking the movie like I thought I didn't, it wasn't. It was I enjoyed the movie so much it put me in my feelings, which is why you did such a great job with the movie. And whatever the hell your name is. Yeah,
I think a lot of people are gonna Austin Butler delivered an Oscar-worthy performance. I genuinely think he's gonna get nominated.
Spoiler alert, bitches. He sang, danced, and played the guitar in the movie. That's not fucking dubbed over lip singing.
You may go to college, you may go to school, you may have a pink Cadillac, but don't you make nobody's fool now, baby. Come back, baby, home.
That's him singing.
And so at the end of the movie, there's a video of Elvis singing "Unchained Melody" by the Righteous Brothers, and that was just a couple of weeks before he died in 1977. And he's obviously old and fat, and they have Austin Butler and all this prosthetics and this makeup, and he's singing. It is his actual voice, and then they cut, and then they go to actual Elvis, the real footage of Elvis singing that same way. It took me probably 30 to 45 seconds, which, count that out. That's a long time watching a different clip to realize that it was actually Elvis. Like, Austin Butler did such an amazing job that I literally didn't even know that they transitioned from the actor to actually Elvis in that scene. I was mind blown. But I think a lot of people are going to overlook Tom Hanks' performance just because of how amazing Austin Butler was. Yeah. But Tom Hanks did an excellent job of kind of making the audience trust him and then hate him. and then
Yes.
trust him and then hate him.
Correct. Which is exactly what Elvis did.
Right.
Trusted. How do I know I can do better. I don't need this guy, but I need him.
Tom Hanks manipulated the audience just as much as he manipulated Elvis.
Fantastic. Yeah. The only thing, Tom, I got a problem with, okay, you played a big feller. Let me tell you from a big feller. You did all these things, and I didn't hear you breathing hard at all. Right? If you're sitting here listening on this mic going, I can hear this fucking guy breathing. Yeah, I'm a big feller. Okay? So I put these little screens here and back it up a little bit. Right? That way you don't have to hear me breathe. I didn't hear this guy breathing hard once. Tom, you play a big guy again. I want to hear. I want to hear that shit sitting there, okay?
You know what's funny? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, little things y'all don't notice, but I'm a big feller. You know what you also won't notice? When I sit in chairs or I go out somewhere, I sit with chairs that don't have any sides on it because it's uncomfortable. I like chairs that are open so I can sit with my legs open like this and be comfortable. As a big guy, it's uncomfortable. So I'm watching an interview with Brandon Shaw, right? Or Brian Shaw. He's a world's strongest man, right? Guy's an amazing athlete, but he's fucking like 6'8", 400 plus pounds. He's a monster of a human.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
But he's literally doing an interview, and his wife's there, and he's like, "Yeah, I love these chairs." He's talking about how there's no sides. He's like, "Yeah, if you haven't noticed, there's no sides on anything in my house. The couches, there's no ends, there's no this." And his wife is sitting next to him going, "Hey, what the fuck? How did I not know that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's literally how I've designed everything because I'm big." There are things that small people will never think about and or notice because they don't deal with it, right? I'm a big guy, so I deal with it. So when I go somewhere, where I sit, when I talk to a maitre d' or whoever that comes to me to ask me to sit down or whoever they are, right, hostess or whatnot, can we seat you? Yeah. Can I get a table? You know, big belly crew, so I don't want a booth.
Yeah.
Right? I'll say that like under the breath joking, la, 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 but no, bitch, really, don't put me in a fucking booth. I'll be pissed. I don't like them because most of them, you can't move the table. It's uncomfortable.
You know, I work in a restaurant, and now if you ever come in, I know.
Yeah, so you see a big fella, you just know. Hey, man, you want the corner, you want a big boy seat, you don't want no side one.
I got
you. Know
you.
What I mean? Yeah.
I got you.
See? Education, teaching you something.
That's right. This podcast isn't just for our handsome looks. But
What you do get here.
yeah, I mean, look at us.
Wow.
Sorry.
Anywho, back to Elvis.
Anyway, you know the song by Shania Twain where it's like, "Man, I feel like a woman."
Yeah.
I was singing that in my head throughout like the entire time watching that because I was so moderately turned on by Austin Butler playing Elvis. I was like, I get it. Like, I completely understand. Like, nobody has made me feel that type of way, and like I'm a straight dude. But I questioned myself watching that movie. That movie is just a testament to how incredible Elvis was, I think.
Yeah, that was the whole purpose of that movie was to show you and give you an understanding of why he was so provocative in his time.
Right.
Right? No one moved like that. No one said those kinds of things. No one danced and acted like that. No one made girls feel that type of way. So for a person to just come out and do it, it had certain people feeling a type, like
Right.
angry. Like, I can't make my wife feel like that, and you ain't either.
Well, this is the devil's music, I reckon. I don't want to listen to this none.
Right? Which is crazy to me because in today's world, that's like the most, like,
That's everything.
sweetest music on the planet.
Well, yeah, you know what's funny is it's like, it almost started, like you said, it started as like, this is the devil's music, I don't want to listen to this, like, this is awful. But now, it's like, Elvis is the music of, like, Christian dads.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the people who hated this music in 1950 when it came out, love this music now. And I love it too. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think there's an Elvis song for everybody.
Bro, I haven't stopped playing Elvis for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay?
I've been performing in my shower and dancing
Same.
and yeah.
Actually, I'll take my vlog camera home. I'll give you guys a little bit. So stay tuned to the vlogs. Those are dropped on Wednesdays, or Wednesdays and Saturdays. If I have enough footage, we'll see. But yeah,
Are we going to get a Frankie shower performance?
thinking about it. It's been requested.
Really? Should we make it a duet?
That would be weird, but as long as you wore board shorts. See what
No,
happens.
come on.
Yeah, no.
Roadhouse.
Wow.
No, it was, I loved it. Yeah. What do you give it out of 10?
I'd probably give it a 9.
I think I rest on a 9 too.
Because Maverick was a 10, absolutely. And I still left going, it wasn't Maverick.
Yeah.
Which I saw Doctor Strange, which I didn't think was a horrible movie. But if I graded that one, it'd be a 7, 6. Like, it was a good movie, but it wasn't anything exciting. Jurassic World, the new one, some people weren't a fan.
Yeah.
I saw it. I like to lose myself in movies. I don't really criticize them like that, but I would give it a 7. But if I would have seen any one of those movies pre-Maverick or not seen Maverick at all those numbers would have been higher.
Yeah.
But because I saw that and I was...
Yeah, I think Top Gun Maverick is the best movie of the last, 20 years.
Yeah, it's out of control.
It's
so,
amazing.
Again, for those of you who haven't seen it, go watch it. If you haven't seen Elvis, go watch it. Just what a great... Like, I want to see it again now and have a totally different mindset on it.
I absolutely want to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like seeing, I haven't even seen Top Gun twice, but I want to see Elvis again just for the performances. Just to,
That's
watch
what I mean.
Austin Butler.
I want to enjoy it more of the fun stuff of why who he was.
Right.
And enjoy that versus being upset at the shit that it's out of my control, right? Because me being a fixer, I'm a guy, right? I'm a fixer. I want to fix things. I want to make things better.
Yeah.
So me not being able to go back in time and punch this dude in the mouth and tell him, hey, stop fucking with him.
Yeah.
Right? Those things were bothering me.
But at the end of the movie, they did that nice, his name is Colonel Tom Parker. Well, not his real name. That was his, manager name, I guess. But they do at the very end, they say Colonel Tom Parker spent the last years of his life wandering around casinos, in poor health. And it really made me feel good.
Yeah, no.
Knowing
100%.
that he had a horrendous last couple years.
I immediately went home and started doing research because I'm a psychopath. And found he died with less than a net worth, I think around $1 million is what they said, which that means if that's what you died with, you did a shitty job of managing your time and money.
Yeah.
Right, which I understand. And there was a lot of interviews from him saying that he never stole. It's just he charged what he thought he was worth. So you took half of what Elvis was making. And at the end of it, when he wanted to separate with you, you wanted to then charge him everything from the day you met him.
Right.
Right, which is another so much million, which would have broke Elvis. So he couldn't afford to get away, to give up the lifestyle he was used to, his wife was used to, his kids was used to. So he ended up staying. Mm-hmm. Right, and not only did you stayed where you felt trapped, which I did think they paid a. I never thought of that from this perspective, but they said his love for his wife was not enough. His love for his kids or anybody else was never enough. It was his love for the fans, his love for music and performing.
Yeah.
That's what killed him. Him not being able to do that in the way or level he wanted is, they believe, what killed him. Is the sadness of him not being able to do it. Going into depression and the drugs and the drinking. And it was just, his coping skill was the wrong things to cope with.
But,
right?
I mean, you understand, you fought in front of hundreds of people.
So this is what I'm saying. So when I say that is for me, it was hard to leave fighting. I still get sad about it. So, and I'm a nobody. I'm a peon when it comes compared to the lights, right? Him, Michael Jackson, people who are at the grandest stage of who you are. You're an icon.
Yeah.
And you see the world shifting. You no longer become the person.
Right.
And your time is now beginning to be your twilight.
Right.
It's over. How do you deal with that?
Pills.
You're right. And both saw doctors who were giving them things to make them feel better and got to a point where it got out of control.
Yeah.
And that was that.
Well, I think what killed them was that they were trying to replicate or duplicate the adrenaline rush. I mean, you understand, you fought on a stage and you get, when you see those lights and you see the people cheering for you, it's it's the best feeling in the world. Of
course.
Even if you lose. Like when I fought, even I lost, but just knowing that those people were there for you and the lights were on you, it's amazing.
Correct.
It's the best. So that on an even higher scale, like you said, trying to duplicate that, I think that's what killed Elvis and Michael Jackson, trying to duplicate that through pills.
Yeah.
I think that's what killed them.
Yeah, I agree. Which, again, was why I left the movie feeling some type of way.
Yeah. It's the movie isn't it's just similar to Top Gun. You're going to feel a lot of emotions. Happy,
sad, fun. I was in there shaking my feet, singing along.
Yeah.
Right? And it was awesome.
Yeah. And this is a quick warning. If you don't like Elvis's music, you're going to. I knew maybe one or two Elvis songs I would kind of bop out to, and now I'm pretty sure I've only listened to Elvis music and songs that I didn't even know that weren't even in the movie that I'm now in love with. For
Suspicious Minds, that was a really good one. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. My favorite one was the one that they did the If I Can Dream, you know, where he was in the white suit with the red Elvis.
Yep.
I've been listening to that. They actually have a fun version of it that like NBC did where it's like it's Elvis and I think Celine Dion and I think it's Ed Sheeran and like a lot of artists from now almost kind of paying homage to it. And it's really interesting to hear the difference in voices from back then versus how poppy everything is now.
Yeah.
I don't think a voice like Elvis or Frank Sinatra or Johnny Cash can be replicated in the same scale that it was back then. Do you know what I mean? Like there's still people
only by this Austin kid. Whatever the fuck is it. That's just amazing.
There's people who can sing like that, but they're not getting famous.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can name country singers who are almost like who have a very similar Johnny Cash quality, but they're not as famous as like, you know.
That comes down to the person though. You got to have it. You know what I mean? It's a special thing what it is, and I don't think it's quantifiable. You don't know until it shows up. Right? Fighting, you have a Connor. He just has it.
Right.
Win, lose, draw, doesn't matter. If he loses, people want to know how is he doing, when is he coming back. The guy who beat him, who cares?
Yeah.
When does this guy come back? Right? Because he's the it. Anderson Silva, doesn't matter. He's it.
Yeah.
Right? In his time. Michael Jackson had it. Elvis had it. Right? There's a lot of people who could be famous and popular in moments, but when you ask about them 10 years later, does anybody know who they are?
Yeah.
Probably not, because it wasn't there. Right? It's not the same.
And it's like you said, it's an indescribable quality that, you know, you could say it's Conor McGregor's personality. That, you know, just him shit talking constantly or the way he fights.
But so
or
many
what he
people
was able
shit talk.
to
Look
do.
at Chael Sonnen. Right? People shit talk all the time, but they're not going to remember him forever.
Right.
It is what it is.
So what does Conor have?
Exactly.
Is it his accent?
How do you know?
But he also had probably one of the most fun rises in sports history.
Right.
It was basically
and he
undefeated.
did everything that what everyone wouldn't do, wouldn't say. He broke the rules.
Yeah.
Right. And he just...
The same way that Michael broke the rules, Elvis broke the rules.
But it's crazy, though, because these guys are all very, very smart in their specific fields. They study. They're perfectionists.
Yeah.
People can say whatever they want about Conor, but he's a great fighter. He thinks about fighting a certain way, understands timing, speed, power, you know, dead space, all the things that make fighting intricate. He understands, right? So outside of the shit talking, he really genuinely does know what he's talking about. You don't need to like him. I'm just saying.
And that's
not dumb.
And that's just what it was. You know, he knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. This was the guy who was undefeated for over a decade.
Yeah, but he talks about that fight and things he saw in the weigh-in of the way his right hand was shaking.
Yeah, how he was
I
twitching.
knew he wanted to throw it. So if I could just bait and show him enough that it was open, I know he would throw it. And when he did, I wouldn't be there.
And
one of the greatest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Because I'm a huge Jose Aldo fan.
Yeah.
So to watch him lose, my heart was broken. I was really upset. But then when I go back and listen to Conor, not flashy Conor, genuine Conor, talking in an interview.
Yeah.
It was so honest and just awesome. I was like, man, that's heartfelt. Like, goddamn, bro. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like, then you want him to win. You're, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, he has it. Like, you want to see
Just
him lose,
for
you wanna see
moments
him win.
like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and you're right. Like, for people who don't fight, the intricacies of fighting, you know, people just think, like, MMA, people just think MMA is just big dudes throwing hard punches.
No.
Not at all. Same with, like, Thai boxing. People, like, or boxing. People just think it's big people throwing hard punches.
No, there's so many pieces.
And when you can see, like, somebody like Conor, who, you know, when he noticed Jose Aldo's hand twitching at the weigh-in, and then he uses that in the fight, it just shows just how intelligent that he is.
Yeah.
In not only just in fighting, but in, you know, almost like psychology, like just understanding how to read someone's body.
People, fighting's very mental, bro. It's 75-80% mental. You have to understand how people work, how things work.
It's a game of chess.
100%. Physical game of chess.
Yeah.
100% agree. So, ladies and gents, this is our review of Elvis, the movie. I give it a 9 out of 10.
I would agree. I'd say a 9 out of 10 as well.
Fantastic movie. We always get off track, but again, that's kind of the fun
I know.
of this thing. It is what it is. It derails and comes back. So, again, if there's movies you want us to review and look at, we will talk about them at some point.
Yeah.
But you're going to get a little bit of love in whatever else we talk about. So, drop some comments, like the video, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We appreciate it. We got to grow the channel. That's what we're trying to do. And there's other content on the channel as well, so you'll find that on Monday and Wednesdays. So stay tuned. Hit that little ringy button so you don't miss anything. And,
The ringy button's important.
Yeah, I'm whatever, dude. I am so not the person for this stuff. like anti-social media
We should
type
get
shit.
scripts.
Yeah.
Can we get scripts so we know what they're called?
But anyway, yeah, I just don't care.
The bell? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the bell icon.
notification
Yeah.
thing?
I'm just a guy who just talks a bunch of shit. So don't take anything I say personally. And if you do,
Take everything I say personally.
then it's on you. So anyway, all right, man, we're out. Thanks again.